Why? Hello and welcome to our discussion video for Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Ta-da! Okay, who wants to start?
I'm Julia. I'm a Hufflepuff.
I'm Kate. I'm from Gryffindor.
I'm Emma. I'm from Slytherin.
And I'm Carol. I'm from Ravenclaw, aka the Better House.
Okay, so can we start by having a general overview of what happened in this one? Who remembers?
I remember the end.
I can
summarize. Okay, so in the beginning, I don't remember what happened in the beginning. Wait, okay.
Dementors.
Oh yeah. So Harry was at his aunt's house, or aunt and uncle's house, and I don't remember. So Harry was at his aunt's and uncle's house, where he stays for like the summer. And so do I spoil it or no?
Obviously. The Dementors, yeah.
Yeah.
The Dementors.
So they were walking, and they were just like walking home from like a park, and then the mentors came and attacked them, and Harry had to fight them off. And Harry used his Patronus, and he was warned the previous year that he wasn't supposed to use magic anymore outside of Hogwarts, and if he did, he was going to be expelled. And since he used the Patronus to protect his cousin, he had got a letter sent from there. And it was basically that he had to go to the Ministry of Magic to have a trial about what happened. And because his cousin said the Muggles can't see Dementors, he thought Harry was attacking him, and it was like a whole ordeal. And then once at the Ministry of Magic, Harry had to go through a trial. He went with Arthur Weasley, and Fudge was basically against him, and just being like a butthole. And eventually. He didn't get kicked out of Hogwarts, but yeah. So then he went to Hogwarts, and
Before we make it to Hogwarts, or you're doing a summary, keep going. Sorry.
So he went to Hogwarts, and was anything else on that?
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay.
Let's get to the question.
All right, well, we can get started with some other ones. So when Harry first goes to the headquarters for the Order of the Phoenix, why is it necessary or important that so many wizards accompany him there?
To keep him safe from more Dementors and any Death Eaters that might attack.
Is there anything related to it, like with the fact whether he didn't know where he was going, or they're trying to keep it
secret?
Yeah.
Awesome. And when he's there, he ends up running into Ron and Hermione. What does he discover when he runs into them at the Order of the Phoenix?
Oh, he discovers that they were made prefects and they had their badges and stuff. And Harry was he was happy for them, but at the same time a little bit jealous, because he was I did all this stuff and I saved the school, I saved a bunch of people, why aren't I prefect?
Much wraps that up. In this book, Harry gets to spend some more time with Sirius. As we see them interact together, how can we tell how the two are alike and how are they different from each other? We could start with just how are they similar? What are some things that they have in common?
What is the thing that Sirius keeps getting yelled at about when he interacts with Harry? Miss Weasley criticizes him all the time about this.
Oh, the messy hair.
Well, that's part of it, but also because Sirius is just treating Harry
Like he's his dad.
like he's his dad. That's right. And so that's they both have that similar sense of mischievousness. I can pronounce words.
Yeah, and then like later on, Hermione says that he thinks Sirius is acting through Harry, like being reckless with him and like just over like telling him what he should and shouldn't do and stuff like that.
And then what are some ways that we might see that they're not so, like, they're a little bit different?
Probably Harry is a bit more cautious than Sirius and tend to takes things a bit more seriously. Seriously. Uh-huh.
Well, and also I think being stuck in the prison of Azkaban for quite a few years might have made Sirius a little more neurotic than Harry is. There's a lot more insanity from his side that Harry doesn't always show. All right, so when Harry, what does Harry learn about the Ministry of Magic when he attends his discipline hearing? What's been happening there?
Well, he learns that none of them like believe him about Voldemort that he's coming back, and that a lot of them just like don't like him because of like the newspaper articles and stuff. Just like the misconceptions that have come around. A lot of people believe them, and he realized that everybody believes them.
What's been happening to their staff? Are those that do believe them, are they sticking around?
No.
If they do believe him, they are keeping their mouths shut.
Yep. So what's going on with that and Percy?
Well, Percy the prefect has basically disowned his family and has gotten into a argument with his father and moved out.
And why don't they try to talk to Percy anymore? What do they think Percy's new job actually is?
They think Percy is working for the Death Eaters.
He's to monitor whatever his parents and Dumbledore and all of them are doing in order to make sure that they are keeping their mouths shut as needed. Why is Fudge all of a sudden more angry towards Harry?
Well, because he knows that he's convinced that Harry told a lie. He's convinced of that, and that he's convinced that Dumbledore's trying to take over his position, and he's kind of trying to get at Dumbledore by going through Harry, because he knows that Dumbledore loves Harry. So.
All right, so going back a little bit, describe 12 Grimmauld Place. What's it like? What's kind of going on over there? A little bit of a backtrack.
Is the residence of the Black family and is currently under renovation as the story takes place, as you can probably tell from the descriptions in the book. For example, I think there's mold all over the place, a boggart in the cupboard, and Sirius is clearing out some of the old family relics, which Kreacher just wants to hang on to.
Who's Kreacher?
Kreacher is the Black's house elf. He's kind of like a crotchety old man that you don't like.
And what about the large painting?
Oh, you mean the one of Sirius's mother that always screams? Well, in the hallway, when you enter, you have to be very quiet. If you make a noise, the curtains draw back as mother starts screaming, "Ah, apologize!" until Sirius has to shut her up.
So we find out that that 12 Grimald place is being the secret location for the meeting of the Order of the Phoenix. And we find out in there that Snape is one of the members of the Order. Do we trust Snape? Opinions, ready, set, go.
Well, my opinion is like, there's like certain things you can trust him. Like he's always like been there. He hasn't like actually done anything that go against the Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
I would have to say not quite, because he was a ex-Death Eater, so that's a cause for raising eyebrows.
I do trust Snape because he tried to save Harry, Ron, and Hermione from Sirius when Sirius was trying to kill him.
I don't not trust Snape because he was the one that saved Harry when Quirrell was trying to kill him out, like knock him off his broom earlier in the series. But I would still be suspicious considering how he doesn't really act
He's very
with the other
snake-ish.
people. Yeah. He like isolates himself and you don't know what's going on in his mind.
Mhm. All right, so finally the summer ends and they go and get on the train to Hogwarts. What's different this year? Does he get to sit with Ron and Hermione?
For a short period, yes. After they get done with their prefect's duties and Ron makes fun of Goyle, I must not look like a baboon's backside.
So since he can't sit with Ron and Hermione, who does he end up sitting with?
I love good.
Luna and
Neville.
Neville. And what do we learn about them?
Well, we learned that like Luna's like a little like crazy, or she seems so.
She's a little odd.
Yeah. And we also learned that like her dad is the editor of
The Quibbler.
the Quibbler, yeah.
Who wants to tell us what the Quibbler is?
Well, if I remember correctly, the Quibbler is basically the onion of the wizarding world. Only way I can think of to describe it.
Has a lot of articles that seem like they would be true based on their headlines, but are full of random nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So when they get to Hogwarts, Harry starts freaking out about the carriages. Why is that?
Because he sees like these horses that nobody else can see unless they see death.
Mm-hmm. So what are these horses called?
Thestrals.
And who tells him that he's not crazy?
Luna Lovegood, because she can see them too.
So can Neville.
I forgot.
So how has Harry's attitude changed from previous books, and how would you say he's acting differently?
Well, in like this book, like his like mood and like it just seems kind of more like off, and he seems kind of like it goes off easily. He's kind of angry throughout the whole book. Just like certain things will like put him off, whereas like in the other books they wouldn't. So.
Mm-hmm.
So who is this year's Defense Against the Dark Arts
Oh
teacher?
man, Dolores Umbridge. I hate her.
Okay, is there anybody that actually likes Dolores Umbridge?
Snape.
Except for Filch. He apparently has a crush on her.
So let's describe Umbridge. What is her?
Pink.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about her. What's it?
Fat, toe-like, ugly, and her name means misery.
So how is her, so she's the defense against the dark arts teacher. So how does her teaching style differ from every previous professor?
Because like she doesn't like have them do it. Like she teaches them. Yeah. She does book work.
If you read it well enough, you'll understand and be able to perform it accurately.
I'd rather like do it and then like do the books. I do not like doing the book work. It's too much.
So in the first class, what ends up happening?
Harry blows up at Umbridge and she puts him in detention.
What happens in his detention?
He has to write sentences, but like when he writes the sentences, the quill takes it from his blood, so the ink is his blood, and then it stings his hand that he's writing with, and then
He has a scar from
yeah.
So really overall, best teacher of ever, right? Winner, teacher of the year, plaques,
Sure.
Yes.
parades, yeah? No? Okay. So throughout the book, Harry keeps having some strange dreams and visions. Why doesn't he end up telling anybody about what's going on?
Probably because he doesn't think he can trust anyone. Also, the fact that Dumbledore is ignoring him, that kind of makes him wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Until Mr. Weasley is attacked. Because he knows that Dumbledore is a member of the Order of the Phoenix.
Okay, so since they can't learn, so Harry knows that something bad's about to happen. From his dreams, he's seeing that. He knows that Umbridge's class is terrible and it's not going to teach them anything. So what do they end up doing?
They end up forming I guess you could call it society called the DA, or Dumbledore's Army, where he teaches a select group of friends to perform defense against the dark arts spells. And that's important since the final battle is coming up.
So how does this help Harry, like, by having him, like, he's kind of I hate to say a big shot, but he's one of the main people that keep Dumbledore's army up and running. How does this help him get through the school year?
He knows he has like people behind him and supporting him. He knows he has people behind him and supporting him, and like it really helps him because like in the beginning, like he didn't get like a lot of letters from his friends over the summer, so he thought like they all like left him and stuff. Like didn't hear about him anymore. So then like all of a sudden, he has all these people supporting him.
And that he knows how to defend himself.
So I think he's feeling more confident now that he's actually getting a chance to practice his skills.
What is one of the most dangerous aspects about Umbridge's character? So how does she relate to some of the warnings of the Sorting Hat at the opening banquet?
Well, she's constantly monitoring classes. And she's trying to fire people and kick them out of Hogwarts. Basically, she's Fudge's mouthpiece. She does all the dirty work.
And she wants to torture everybody there.
Definitely one way to put it.
More reasons to hate her.
There's never enough.
How would you guys say some of the events that happen at Hogwarts mirror what's going on in the wizarding world outside of school?
Do people really believe that Voldemort is back?
Not all of them.
Some do, but some don't.
Until Harry's interview with Rita Skeeter, which is published in the Quibbler. That's when people start believing.
Is there anything else going on in the wizarding world during this time? Or is it just that?
Well, there are several strange occurrences involving the Death Eaters. For example, someone at St. Mungo's is murdered with a devil's snare plant to keep them quiet. And also, he's after the prophecy, which proclaims that either he or Harry will survive. Neither of them can do it together. And then we have the incident at the ministry.
All right, so at one point, Harry sees one of Snape's memories through the Pensieve. What does Harry learn about his dad, Sirius, Lupin, and Pettigrew from when they were at school, or just what do they learn about them, and how does this affect Harry?
So he learned that his dad was rude to Snape, and so was Sirius, but Lupin wasn't really rude. He just didn't care. But then Harry felt he felt bad, and then he realized when people were like saying that he's just like his dad, that he didn't want to be just like his dad anymore because his dad was so rude.
Why does Harry's, I can't pronounce that, Cruciatus?
Cruciatus.
Like Cruciatus curse not work on Bellatrix, even though he feels such hatred?
Well, it doesn't work on Bellatrix because he doesn't want, he doesn't really badly, want to see her, suffering and, pain. He's just doing it, because he's mad and wants to get revenge. And it's not because he's, the thirst, she does, for it to actually affect. So it only affected her for, a few seconds, and she quickly recovered.
So we have a really big tragic point in this book.
Sirius Black is killed by Bellatrix.
I'm mad.
And where does this big event take place? Like, where are they when all of this goes down?
They're in the Ministry of Magic in the Mysteries Department. Is that what it's called?
Department of Mysteries.
Yeah, Department of Mysteries. And he went there because he was convinced that, because he had a nightmare that Sirius was there, and he stuck into his door to his office, because that was the only place where nobody could see what they're doing. And he stuck his head in the fireplace, and was seeing if, since Sirius was home, and he saw Creature and asked Creature if he was home. Creature told him he wasn't, so that to him proved that he was in the Ministry Department, or the Department of Mysteries. Proved to him that he was in the Department of Mysteries. So him and a bunch of his friends went to go and save him. And once he was there, it was like a trap. And once he had the prophecy in his hand, a bunch of Death Eaters showed up and they tried to attack him, but they couldn't attack Harry because he had the prophecy. And once the prophecy is smashed, nobody could know what was in it.
Okay, so we have just another minute. Any final thoughts, any final wrap-ups, any final points we missed that you want to talk about? Yep.
How does Harry feel after learning parts of the story that Dumbledore has held back from him until now? Well, he's very angry and he begins to destroy Dumbledore's office.
But Dumbledore doesn't care because it's Harry. Dumbledore likes Harry.
And he ends up fixing everything.
Bonus of magic. Anything else?
And then the drama begins.
All right, so our next discussion is on March 20th, 4 o'clock, same time. Join us then.
Subscribe.
Bye.